there's a crew in town. The head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dark pass away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground, rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Neighbors hide behind their blinds, whisper tales of troubled minds. Skeletons covering the mountainside, a treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't mask their cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise. All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground, rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Winter reveals the hidden lie. Moonlight could mask their cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground, rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've not been here before, we are so glad that you are here. You've been missing out. My name is Elizabeth, and this is Hillbilly Crime. Now, if you guys have seen the title, we had it wrong. I think that I got a little bit too excited about this last piece of video that was just dropped. Okay, we're going to watch it real fast again. And I'm going to read. Let me pause it. And I'm going to read a little bit from an article where Mickey's attorney speaks about this, okay? How is everybody? First off, let's welcome everybody in. We've got a ton of people already here. And Miss Ava, Gavin said I should come by to subscribe. So here I am. We are so glad you are here. Thank you. Thank you for coming. We are doing another show with Gavin at 7:30, so that's why we did our show a little bit earlier than usual tonight. His show usually only lasts about an hour. He's much more disciplined than I am. So we have to have ours done by the time we can jump on there with him. Let's see. Mountain Dew Queen became a member. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. So just to kind of give everybody a little quick rundown, okay? Mickey Stines was the sheriff here in Letcher County, Kentucky. We live in the southeastern corner of Kentucky, right on the Virginia line, is kind of where we're at. And then if you go just a little bit further, you've got Tennessee. So we're really in that corner where you got Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. They're together. And Mickey Stines had worked around the courthouse for 20 years or around. And he ended up going into the judge's chambers there at the courthouse, and he shot our sitting district judge, Kevin Mullins, 8 times. And, of course, it unalived him. And so now everybody's kind of wondering why. What is the motive? It's not a whodunit. We know who did it. We've got video. Why did he do it? There have been all kinds of rumors. The very first rumor that spawned immediately the same day was about the sheriff's daughter. He has a 17-year-old daughter, and there was just rumors that there was some kind of relationship between the two. Now, and pretty immediately that the family came out and kind of shot that down, said, no, that's not true. And then it's because of these phone calls, we heard that Mickey had taken his phone and tried to call his daughter, and then he used the judge's phone to try and call his daughter. And so that really is what spawned these rumors. I think if you didn't have those phone calls, I don't think that comes to play in at all in this case. I cannot wait for Gavin Fish to put up the Zoom videos of the phones in Mickey's hands. I hope Elizabeth is on that too. Well, here's where I am at with it. I have studied this video, and I am pretty much convinced that most of that we are seeing in that is his own reflection. I think that's his shirt. I think that's his reflection. I think that there's a couple times that you see a contact photo. I think there's a photo that comes up where he's trying to call. But I think I got too excited about that part of the video. And we're going to watch it, and you guys might see what I see, and you might not. But let's look and see. So this here is the beginning of it. I think that we are looking at Mickey coming in kind of hot. He looks to me like he had just been told something. And now he looks to me like he's confronting the judge. And then you can see where that's been edited. I think whoever got the video released, they've cut out a significant portion of them talking. And if you see the judge's face, he just seems like he can't believe what Mickey is saying to him. Let me go back, because there was a part here. Okay, now this is right where they're leaving. Okay, he's kind of told everybody to exit left. And I also noticed who was in that other room, in the smoking room over there. I'm pretty sure that was Michael Watts. He's the only one that I know that wears those suits. And I was talking, and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. Okay, so as soon as they exit here, I think you're going to see one of them motion to the door. Kind of like somebody had just told him something. Let me get back to that part. There's no audio with these videos either, just to remind everybody. There's no audio. And you see the judge kind of, give him whatever explanation he's given. We're going to listen to a body language expert. They had one on one of the networks. So we're going to listen to what they have to say here in just a minute. Now, see, Mickey's over there messing with his phone. So it makes me think he's not been able to get a hold of whoever he just tried to get a hold of right there. Now he picks it back up. I think he's looking. Now I think is where he gets the judge's phone. No, it's a little bit further in the video. You see the judge's eyebrows are all squinted together, which I'm no language expert, body language expert, y'all. But I did know both of these men. I know a lot of the players in these videos. And see, that just looks like Mickey's maybe contacts. So now he asks for the judge's phone. And watch. I said, where's the code? And somebody said, oh, he gives him the code right here. He asks him for the code and he puts the code in. So the judge told him the code. He puts it in. And now watch what he does. He takes the phones. He puts them one on top of the other. And all he does is pull up that phone number and he starts putting the number in. It's not like he's looking, searching for something that he's, like something that's hidden on the phone that he's trying to find or anything like that. And you see the judge is kind of giggling, smirking up underneath his hand up there. Like whatever that Mickey's talking about to him, is just ridiculous or something. This is how it's that I'm perceiving it anyway. Now, Mickey's done playing around. He's done messing around. You sit back down there. He locks the door. I sure wish Kevin would have fought. I wish Kevin would have got up and at least tried to defend himself. But I'm like a lot of people. I don't think that Kevin ever thought that Mickey would actually do what he did. Okay, I think that's the end of it. All right, now let me read this article. So this was a Fox News article, and they're the ones I'm pretty sure who got who got this footage to begin with. Let's see. Well, I don't think it's going to let me read it now without paying for it. Don't you just love when it does that? Okay, so anyway, I'll tell you what it said. Basically, what it said was they had interviewed Mickey's attorney, and Mickey's attorney said that the phone call to the daughter didn't have anything to do with the shooting. He said that, unless I have it wrong, but I don't think I do. What I remember reading in the article was that the call that Mickey he was trying to reach his daughter. He was trying to reach his daughter, his wife and daughter, to make sure they were okay. That the incident happened because of the threats that Mickey had received surrounding or relating to the deposition. Now, if you remember, that's what I said. I didn't believe the thing about the daughter, but, you just never know. This stuff is so confusing, and there's so many secrets. There are so many secrets that we are coming to learn. Okay, now we've got this too. This is the other piece of footage. This right here was right before. It was earlier that day. It was earlier before they went to lunch. It says it's 12:02. Now you've got Mike Watts Sr. standing there in the blue and white checkered shirt. I love him. I just adore Mike Watts Sr. He is an absolute wonderful person. Or at least he always has been to me. And this is them going to lunch. This was a little court TV piece that they had out. It was real short. It wasn't very long at all. Scoot past it. All right, now here's the video right after it happened. There goes Michael Clark. There goes the preacher. Look at him come running down. Any of you all that watched it with us the other night, the preacher getting up there there he is. See him? See him right there? He's running behind the lady. See the lady in the green dress? You're going to see the preacher about knock her down. He runs so fast, he about knocks her down. Look at her. He runs right on past her. Then you see Mickey come walking out. You see him there? He's walking out of the courthouse. And something else that I noticed in this video is that nobody's running. You saw Tweety Bird take off running, the preacher, and you saw the woman in the green dress. She was running. But all these people standing in front of the courthouse, and I've had people say, well, they just didn't hear it. 8 times? I could see if it was, a one-off, but 8 of them, nobody heard it. It's just a little hard for me to believe, but I guess the courthouse could be somewhat soundproof. I don't know. But so here comes Mickey. Now you're going to see the police start to arrive if it shows it. And you don't see the police telling people to run either. How many How many times you ever see anything like that?
Handcuffed. They eventually put him inside the police cruiser. Now, we're also going to play a little clip from you of him being inside that police cruiser. You can't see him, but you definitely can hear him. And it sounds as if he just keeps repeating himself. He's getting a little bit agitated. He's talking about how hot he is. Treat me fairly, guys. Let's go ahead and play that for our viewers.
This is right after.
No, now come on. Y'all gonna leave me in here and let me die of heat off? No, I can't get up in there. Come on now. Come on.
Nobody's up in there.
I can't. Yeah, man, I can't get in. These cuffs are way too tight. Come on now, guys. Come on now. Keep going. I know it's hot. Keep quiet.
You may pick your leg up, my brother.
Y'all got carbon monoxide in here. Come on now. Come on. I can't sit like this.
Slide sideways.
I can't. Come on now. Be fair to me.
We're being good to you, brother. You stick your leg up in there.
Come on now, guys. Please don't do this to me.
My question is, why isn't anybody asking him, like, what the heck, Mickey? What did you do it for? Like, I would be a mess. My nerves would be absolutely just out of this world. But we've got, I should have pulled that up, but I didn't. We've got video of the state police in their cruiser on the way to the courthouse talking to one of their fellow cops. Either I don't know if he was talking to him on the phone, the cell phone, or if he what way of communication, but you could hear it. It was on the dash cam, body cam. And he's laughing. He's saying, "Hey, we're heading to the courthouse." And you hear the other cop say, "Oh, well, what happened?" or something. And he said, "Somebody just shot Judge Mullins." And he just laughs like a big idiot. Forgive me, but I just don't see what's so funny about it, you know? But nobody talks about that giggling. It really kind of shows you the culture and the mindset of the police, the law enforcement in this area. Let's see if they show us anything.
Please don't do this to me. Please.
You want to scoot on over a little bit to the left?
Come on now.
Try to scoot on over a little bit more. That way we don't hit you. Can you go any bit farther? I just want to hit you with the door. Put your knee in there, my friend.
Hey, Jason. Hey, Bates. Hey, Bates. Can we loosen this up a little or give the window down?
I'm sorry.
Can we loosen this up a little? Be fair to me, man.
I got some air. I'll crack the window for you, but I can turn the air on back here. Okay?
Yeah. Be fair to me now.
I promise.
I mean, they're acting like they've picked him up for shoplifting, ain't they? Like nobody's acting like they're so surprised that this has happened. That's the lead detective right there in the frame that testified at the first hearing, the arraignment for Mickey. All right, so let's pull this one down. I don't think there's much left on that one. No, it's just them talking. Okay, so we're going to pull that one down. I kind of figured out how to use these present buttons just now today. Ain't that crazy? All right. Now here is the News Nation thing that they did yesterday. So let's watch this and see what their people said.
Kids, I do not take it well.
My eyes are just about the only thing I do believe. And the just released video from an Eastern Kentucky courthouse makes it crystal clear that a county sheriff gunned down a sitting judge in cold blood in the judge's own chambers. At least that's what it looks like. So how can the ex-sheriff's lawyer say with a straight face that the video proves his client isn't guilty? Talk about an uphill climb. The new footage is longer than the clip that we got back in October, and it is much higher resolution too. So it begins with Judge Kevin Mullins entirely at ease, sitting in his cinder block office and chatting with friends and coworkers at his desk, even smoking a cigarette. They shoot the breeze for about 12 minutes on this video until the sheriff, Sean Mickey Stines, who is not in uniform, enters the room with another man. And soon after, the judge clears the room of everybody except for Sheriff Stines. And the sheriff takes a seat opposite the judge on the other side of the judge's desk.
That's where she got that wrong. The judge did not clear that room. Mickey Stines cleared that room. I want to be very clear on that. The judge did not clear that room.
Doesn't look unusual. Everybody looks like things are normal in that courthouse that day. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. For the next 7 minutes, these two colleagues, who are also very old friends, talk about something, but we don't know.
That's something else that was in that article that Mickey's lawyer said. They were not friends. Apparently, it's surprising to me on one hand, and on the other hand, it's not, because I have work experience. So I know how sometimes you may not like somebody that you work with, but you have to get along with them to, keep your job and to make sure there's no problems. But that's what Mickey's lawyer said in that article. They were not friendly. They were not friends as much as they were coworkers. And he had said in an earlier interview that he had done that they didn't think that Mullins even voted for Mickey in his election. So I found that very interesting. Just because Mickey was Kevin's bailiff for 10 years before he became sheriff, and just because he worked with him, so apparently that does not mean that they were friends. So we're and a lot of these networks, none of us have been right about much, when it comes to guessing and speculating. But one of the things about the networks is that they're not from here. They don't know anybody here. So it's kind of hard for them sometimes to get the little details right, but I'll let you know when they don't. Trust me.
What that something is, because the video is silent. It does not have sound. But then we see Sheriff Stines messing around on his cell phone. He's either taking a call or making a call, or he's trying to do that. After that, the judge hands the sheriff the judge's own phone. And Sheriff Stines appears to make a call on the judge's phone, getting the number off of a contact that's on his own phone. And whether Stines saw something on the judge's phone or heard something on that phone call, something set off Sheriff Stines. And that has been the subject of rumors right from the very start. But the judge doesn't appear to think that he's in danger. Not at all. Maybe until Stines pulls up his shirt to reveal his gun, and then actually pulls the gun and locks the door. I mean, this part's weird, right? I cannot, for the life of me, imagine what this conversation was. Doors locked. There it is.
Get up, bum rush.
Still, the judge is
Fight.
comfortable just sitting there.
Jeez.
Today, Sheriff Stines' attorney sent us a statement, and I will read it for you. It says, quote, the recently released expanded footage further supports our position that Mr. Stines sincerely believes that there was a threat to his wife and daughter. As the Commonwealth's witness testified at the preliminary hearing, our client, that's Stines, attempted to contact his daughter from the judge's phone. Multiple witnesses have given statements that Sheriff Mickey Stines had grown increasingly paranoid in the weeks leading up to the events in the video. The phone exchange and the corresponding conversations denote a crucial point when the culmination of Sheriff Stines' fears, his impaired mental health, and the pressure connected to his testimony in the federal civil lawsuit reached a boiling point. Did you get all that? That's a hell of an uphill climb. That lawsuit that the lawyer just mentioned about his client, that was filed in January of 2024, 8 months before what you're seeing on your screen right there, the execution-style killing of a judge. The lawsuit claims that that sheriff on the screen, Sheriff Stines, failed to properly supervise one of his deputies, a deputy who eventually admitted to extorting sex from female inmates, and a deputy who was sentenced to 7 years in prison for it. The plaintiff in the lawsuit was a victim in the criminal case and claims the sex assaults happened, are you ready? Right there in Judge Mullins' chambers. Ugh.
But he only got 6 months. He may have been given 7 years technically, but he only had to serve 6 months in jail. And then he was given 5 years probation, or whatever, probation, I guess. And then a supervised probation. And then the next 2 years, the very last 2 years, it's unsupervised probation. I'm pretty sure is what that was. So he only served 6 months, and he's already served it. And he got to serve his 6 months in the basement of the Whitesburg courthouse. So he got to serve his 6 months in his own house. This deputy worked at that jail for 10 years. His wife was a supervisor at the jail. So he got to serve his 6 months, was made trustee immediately as soon as he went in. He was given his own cell. He was given his own brand new thick mattress to sleep on. And he was given a great big TV for his cell. And his wife was allowed to go in there anytime she wanted and hang out with her husband while he was serving his sentence. And then after he served his 6 month sentence, she got a big promotion. That's her that we see in the smoking room, sitting in there the day that Judge Mullins was died. So the deputy's wife, and when we look at some of the other video, I'm pretty sure that she was the very first one to get to Mullins after Mickey had left. That deputy, the same one that pled guilty to abusing these women. That's a little piece that these networks aren't telling you, and they know it. They know all this information, and they don't even report it.
As for the video that you just watched, what does it tell us? What doesn't it tell us? I want to bring in Scott Rouse. He's a behavior analyst, a body language expert, and a friend of our show. And Scott has worked with the best of the best top law enforcement, government, military, to help advise them about body language in certain and specific cases.
No, she wasn't the blonde one. She was the one that had her hair up in a ponytail. I missed her because she looked like an old woman to me. I thought it was an old woman sitting there that must have been one of their clerks or something. She had curly hair and she had it in a bun up on top of her head, and she was sitting right next to the blonde lady. She was sitting closest to Mickey. As Mickey was going in and out that door, she was the one sitting the closest to Mickey.
It's good to have you here. You've been able to watch this video, this new, longer, I call it the prelude to the execution. What stands out for you?
There's so much that stands out for me. What most people are under the impression is happening, where the guy comes in, the sheriff comes in, he's relaxed, and the judge is relaxed. That's not what's happening at all, not even a little bit.
Wow.
When that guy walks in, watch what he does. His body language is really tight. He's moving constantly. He's going back and forth. Then he goes back and he makes a threat check. You'll see in just a minute, into the other room when he turns around and looks. And that threat check is to make sure it's okay that he can do something, that there's nobody there
let's
to...
go full screen with the video. I don't want to miss a bit. You and I are on the screen, but let's go full screen with the video in the middle so I can really understand what you're saying and see the small details. Keep going.
Okay, that was a threat check where he just looked out the door there. And I believe it might have been the sheriff that was telling everybody to leave, maybe not the judge. Everybody got it fairly quickly. But then I thought, well, maybe it is the judge, because they're not doing what are called threat checks, making sure everything's okay. They're not afraid when they leave, and they're in a hurry, but they're not afraid when they leave. They never turned around and looked as they left. Now, see, just in a second, you'll see the sheriff walk to the door, and he checks out there.
Now, when Michael just came through that door just then, he took his notebook and kind of gestured to Mickey. And he told everybody in that room something. He said something, maybe Mickey's mad, or trying to tell Mickey something and he won't listen. Something. He has said something to the rest of them sitting there in that room. Now, this is what I think anyway. This is what I see. And as soon as he does that, that woman that's sitting in the windowsill, she says something to Mickey. And Mickey responds kind of towards that woman and the man sitting in the chair. And you see them get up and move fast.
Make sure everything's cool. Just in a second, he'll turn. But now let's watch the judge as well while we're waiting on that. He looks like he's calm.
He's smoking,
when he sees it,
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And a lot of times people smoke when they're stressed. He may have been, there it is, checking and seeing who's out there, making sure everything's okay. Then he shuts the door. Now, this judge...
He kind of made this gesture. He didn't just shut the door. He made this gesture like, unless you all want to... I mean, I'm just ad-libbing, you know. But we see him do this gesture there, and that's when everybody gets up to skedaddle.
Judge knows something up. He looks like he's very relaxed and all that, but look how stiff his body is.
No.
He's braced against that chair. Nothing moves on him except his head. And if you were to go fast forward, you'd see his head just bobbling back and forth. It's almost like a ventriloquist dummy. It's going back and forth. Now, as they start talking, okay, I'll go some more for this. Everyone else is relaxed in there. Apparently, they were having a meeting or something about whatever they're going to be meeting about. But now, watch the judge. Now, at this point, he's trying. You
can tell, Mickey, whatever it was that Michael said to him really got under Mickey's skin.
Trying to look relaxed. That's what that looks like. And we know that because how stiff his arms are. They're straight. When he's putting that food in his mouth, his head goes back a little bit too far. His arms are stiff. His movements aren't smooth. There's a threat check. He comes in, shuts the door, and maybe it was the sheriff that said that. I can't tell.
Yeah, when you were saying that his head was bobbing, I didn't see that at all. Is it super, like, subtle?
No, it's going back and forth. He's looking, it just goes back and forth. Nothing on him moves. There you go. Now he's going to stay in that position pretty much the whole time. His hand's going to go back and forth, but he's using his hand as a barrier. He's afraid of this guy. Something's up. There's some kind of relationship between these guys. I'm not saying they had a relationship themselves, but something's going on before all this, because this big guy, the sheriff, came in and he's got something on his mind. If I was a betting man, I would say he came in to do what he did. I don't think what was on the phone triggered him to do that. I think he was making the sort of preamble to say, here's why I'm doing this. I'm proving this to you. This is wrong. This shouldn't be happening, whatever it is. And that's when he gets up and does that. So I think I'm not an attorney. I can't say anything about whether it's premeditated or not, but it looks like this is what he planned to do when he came in there. He had this on his mind. So,
so I'll tell you what, I want to line up this next discussion with video. So I want to make sure our producer has the moment when Sheriff Stines actually stands up from the chair and then begins to sort of walk over towards the judge, because I felt, and again, I'm a real neophyte in this science, I felt as though the judge's body language changed. His hands went up, but not in a defensive way. It was almost like, what are you talking about? But here, watch this. Tell me what happens, and if you see a profound change right there, those hands going up, a profound change.
Yeah, his hands went up before Mickey pulled his that from his side, and I think Mickey said something. I think Mickey said something as kind of like, if you do this, I'm going to do this, or something to that effect. Whatever it was Mickey said, it got Kevin's attention enough to put his hands up.
Change in the judge's behavior.
Well, of course, his limbic system is on fire right now because the sheriff has pulled a gun out. Now, watch what happens. He's sort of angled himself away from him, and when the hands go up here, those are defensive moves that when he puts his hand up. See that one down there? He's ready to throw that up. But he's saying, calm down, keep calm. We don't need to do this. And that's what people do when they're trying to get someone to calm down. You see those hands come up and they start patting, in other words, patting the air down. He knows something's up here because the sheriff probably said, I'll do whatever it is I'm going to do to you. I don't know if I can say, can I kill you or whatever, but he told him what was going to happen. There he tells him to sit back down. Now you'll watch him back up a little bit here too, because he's way too close. When you're a marksman or you're a shooter, you don't get that close when you're shooting someone. If you're a professional, watch how far out his arm has to come before he shoots. So he backs up a little bit.
I want to ask our control room if we have another shot that continues from that moment, because the one thing I will say is, like, when anybody ever pulls a gun out, most people put their hands up and freak out right away, but it doesn't look like Judge Mullins is as freaked out as the average guy would be if someone in front of you pulled a gun.
Yeah, he's trying to talk him out of it. He's under the impression he can probably talk his way out of this, because I would be under the impression that he's done that before. He's not talked himself out of getting shot, but talked his way out of a lot of problems, and that's the way he does it. So there's the defensive move with his hand up. That's why you see a lot of times people with stab wounds in their hands and gunshots in their hands as well, because they hold their hand up to stop whatever it is. This isn't explosive behavior by the sheriff either. He didn't jump up and go over there. He's talking to him about this, and he's explaining to him why he's going to do this, and whatever it was that he did in this relationship, be it family things, be it whatever it is, that's what they're discussing right there. And he's telling him what's up. That's why he locks the door. Nobody's going anywhere. So I think he was doomed when he came in, because if we watch him when he came in, you'll see the sheriff only looks at him twice, and the judge keeps his eye on him because he's afraid of him. That's when he starts getting still. And at the very beginning as well, you see him, the nervous rocking back and forth. You'll see him, a lot of mouth movement. In other words, he's mouth grooming, licking his lips and things like that, and making these short, fast moves or quick moves, which let us know he's on edge. He's on edge when he came in there.
Well, let's roll that tape again.
Okay.
Because you just mentioned when the sheriff first walks in, you're saying that you can see something very specific.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It looks normal to me.
Yeah, I promise you it's not. I promise you it's not. That judge right now, his limbic system is starting to light up. He's worried. He's worried. I know it's tough to tell from this far, but I got to look at it. I blew it up and looked at it closely, and and he's nervous. He's about as nervous as he gets.
What about the fact
right
that Scott, there's all these other people, 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Do they have body language that suggests, something's wrong? Or does this look like you know what? This is the judge's chamber and we got to scram when he says so. Like what is their body language saying? Let's drop the banner so we can see the bottom guy too on the frame if we can, please.
Okay. They're all relaxed. Nobody's worried. Nobody's stressed. They may be stressed because they're in front of the boss. You see the small things, but see, no one's in a big hurry. They're leaving fairly quickly, but they're not worried as they leave. There's the woman with the phone that was sitting on the windowsill. You can tell a lot from watching her. She's not worried, not even a little bit, about any of this. So these people have no earthly idea what's going on, which happens quite often because people don't pay attention to little things that are happening. In a situation, they're not aware of what's going on around them. But if you watch this guy, the sheriff, he's still just briefly there in the doorway, but he's rocking back and forth. See how his foot's pointed toward the judge? Our brain, when our feet tell us a lot, because wherever they're pointed, that's what we're thinking about. That's what we're thinking about. And right here, see the one.
Why is he closing the door? Why is he closing the door as he's asking people to leave? Like, that's kind of weird. Like, he's closing the door, but at the same time, it's 1 second before everybody's cleared out of there. Isn't that odd?
He may have said something. He may have said something like, if you don't leave now, you're not leaving. But then again, they're not afraid when they leave. So that's a lot. But people act oddly when they're nervous. When his stress level has got to be through the roof, that sheriff, because he's got a plan. I believe he knows what he's going to do. I really do.
You don't think, Scott? You don't think that he blew his cork when he looked at the phone? You think it's all being formulated now?
Yeah, no. I think he planned on that. I think he planned on it. I really do. I hate to say premeditated, but he thought about this beforehand. He thought about this. Now watch that judge.
No.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm just watching. Like, there he is putting something in his mouth. Yeah.
He's trying
to look relaxed.
I said I thought that was Michael Watts back there in the back, and I don't think that was Michael. I just got a good look at him. I don't think that was Michael.
Trying to look relaxed and watch him smoke. Now he's even in that 7-minute break, he's having another cigarette right after that. I don't know if the guy's a chain smoker or not. That usually indicates someone's nervous when they start smoking. He was smoking obviously when he came in.
Like a girl.
But watch the only thing that moves on him is his head. What?
Yeah, and I listen. This is just fascinating to me. I will end the segment though by saying that sheriff is innocent until proven guilty, even though we're looking at a video of what.
You see him did you see him smirking towards Michael as Michael was going out the door? Michael and Kevin, I think, were a lot closer friends than Mickey was. And yeah, listen, we got speculation, you guys. Sorry, but right now that's all we've got. We don't know what they were saying for sure. We don't have an audio. They haven't came out and said exactly, they just kind of dropped these hints. So all we can do as new information comes out, is kind of put it through the ringer and see what all's going on, see what we think is happening. Now I'm getting ready to jump on with Gavin. So you guys follow us on over there, and me and Gavin are kind of going to go through all this. I don't agree with that body language expert on a lot of what he said. Some of it I did agree with, but some of it I didn't. And I don't agree with a lot of what old girl says. She kind of says stuff sometimes, and I just don't agree with her. But that's okay, you guys. We absolutely can agree to disagree. That's the whole point of having freedom of speech. If we can't get along with our brothers and sisters because we see something differently, that's the whole problem of not being able to, accept each other's differences and differences of opinion. But on this platform, we welcome them all. We welcome everybody's opinion. Okay. Just don't get disrespectful and don't get, you know, don't get all upset. I'm going to say some things sometimes y'all might not agree with and you might not like. Forgive me, but keep coming back. And let us know what you think in the chat. All right, guys. Check us on over at Fish's channel. It comes on at 7:30, okay? Let's see. We've got Mountain Dew Queen became a YouTube member. Marjan, we need 1,800 likes, please. Love you. Hit that like button for us. Miss Crystal, you rock. Please hit the like button. Yes, yes, yes. Let's go back and try to catch up some of your all's opinions real quick. I should have paused the video. Sorry, honey. Liz says Mickey's defense is he was protecting his wife and daughter. I thought I read his wife filed for divorce. That doesn't make his defense look good. Fact or fiction on the divorce? That is fact. We had heard a lot of those rumors too, right after this happened, and nobody really knew the truth until we read the deposition. In the deposition, one of his employees says that they were discussing divorce. And so I reckon that part is true, you guys. So, and Mickey had stayed at his aunt's the night before this happened. He was not at home. He couldn't sleep. He hadn't slept in a couple of days, I reckon. So he was working on no sleep. So Lisa, the lady in the windowsill jumped before then, sat back down before everyone moved to leave. They were very uncomfortable. All of them in there looked to me like they were very uncomfortable. I didn't know what that was, smoking or eating. And eating. Yeah, he was doing both. Looks like he was throwing mints or peanuts or something, candy or something he's putting in his mouth, and then chain smoking that cigarette, which he was a chain smoker anyway. Just about all of them down there at the courthouse are chain smokers, one right after the other. Oh, I was thinking Michael and the judge were closer. Yeah. From what we've kind of found out, it seems like Michael was close to everybody himself. You know, like he was close to Kevin. He was apparently close to, well, he says Mickey was one of his closest and best friends. But Kevin and Mickey apparently weren't that great of friends. Who knew? Who knew? Yeah, I think this is 1,000% personal. I think this was a betrayal of some kind. You know, I mean, he could have felt the threats that he received. Whatever threats he was receiving, I guess we should say it that way, or whatever threat he had received was real enough to him that he did this. Like, remember what we said. He was getting ready to retire, and I was wrong about the retirement. I think he still had another 1.5 or 2 years left on his thing. So even though the election was in November, this happened in September, the next election was in November, I don't think his election was up that year. Somebody filled me in and said that he still had another year or so on his term. So it wasn't his term. His term wasn't up those 2 months after this happened. So that kind of gives a little bit more context to the meeting that we found out that the judge had with the judge executive. The judge executive is over the county's money. They're over the county's finances, but they are also the person who would appoint a new sheriff. And so we had found out that the judge had allegedly had a meeting with the judge executive and allegedly named who he wanted to take Mickey's place. And that meeting allegedly took place before Mickey went and gave his deposition, which happened 3 days before this. SC Girl says, I've listened to this body language expert previously, and I don't buy half of what he says. I didn't either. Remember culture. Culture is a really big factor here. If they don't understand the culture, then you're not really going to get it. You're not going to understand everything. And they're no different than we are. I mean, they might be a body language expert, but they're still, giving their opinion on something. Sunny days, 55. I don't agree either, Elizabeth. Oh, RJG, I agree with the person who said Mickey wasn't supposed to come back from delivering food. That was another thing that Mickey's lawyer said in an interview, was that Mickey felt like he was being lured during that food delivery. So the preacher and Mickey, after lunch, went on a food box delivery for poor people that signed up to get food boxes delivered. Normally they delivered 40 boxes. This day they only delivered a couple. And I've got a new little tidbit of information. Somebody reached out to me that worked at one of the local grocery stores in Whitesburg. And they said that 45 minutes before this happened, Michael and Mickey had came into the grocery store to buy things for the food boxes, is what they said. And that was just, I don't know what to think about that. They said that Mickey was sweating profusely and that he kept wiping the sweat off of his head. Now, remember, it was in September. It was September 19th. That's really hot time of year, and he was a very overweight fella. So I don't know what that means, really. I think he was going through a lot of sweat. I think he sweated a lot anyway. I remember seeing him sweat some, so that might not. But they said that Mickey was telling Michael to put stuff up on the thing or whatever, and it struck me that Mickey was telling Michael, giving him directions on what to do. But so that was a new little piece of information that we hadn't had before. Carry Long, I'm cracking up about the preacher running. The preacher knew, and he's like, I'm out of here. Well, if he said something to stir Mickey up before he went in there, if Michael let the cat out of the bag on something, who knows, whatever. If he said something that if you say something to somebody and they start getting all upset and, kind of go haywire, that that whatever you said created this problem. How many of you have stuck your foot in your mouth and then immediately regretted it? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Jackie Ball. Well, yeah, they were closer. He was getting a kickback from the rehab, probably. Everyone, it's free to like the video. Yes, it's free to put a like on here. It helps us to get out to a bigger audience, y'all. And we just hit 15,000 subscribers. So subscribe if you haven't, and like if you do. Buckwheat, we haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. That is as close to proving guilt as it gets, as guilt gets. Lawyer hacks prosecute wrongly and free the guilty often. Oh, yeah, he's guilty, you guys. He's guilty. I mean, we have the video. We see what he did. And regardless of what his reason was, you can't do what he did. You can't do that. He was an unarmed man in the corner of his chambers. Now, regardless of what he did, he didn't deserve to be done the way that he was done. I don't care what anybody comes up with. You know, he could be the devil himself. But, you know, it's touchy subject. It's a touchy subject. I think he shut the door to make sure no one else came in before they got out. That's a good analysis of that. That's a really good. Absolutely. KD, body language expert, is wrong. Joining you on Gavin. I didn't agree with either one. No, I didn't either. Gritty Gret. Love it. Mickey came in hot. So premeditated seems rather reasonable to me. Well, you know, after hearing what his lawyer said, that the phone call didn't have anything to do with it, he was calling his daughter and wife to try and make sure they were okay. And him saying that in the last interview too, his lawyer said that he thought they had already been taken. That was why he couldn't get a hold of them. There were reports that he even had went up to the high school earlier to try and see his daughter. I don't know how that went. I don't know if he was able to contact her. I don't know if she wanted to see him. I don't know if she did see him. I don't know. But we have had reports that he went up there to see her that day. So if he couldn't get a hold of her, you know, and something had been said to him that he perceived as a threat, even if it wasn't meant that way, but if he perceived it as a threat, you got to remember what all he knew. We still don't know exactly what all he knew, but we got a pretty dang good idea. I've gotten a ton of tips and firsthand experiences from people, so we got a really good idea of the things that he knew. I think that it was a sex trafficking ring that was a very, very old one. I think this has been going on for a very long time. And I think with those kinds of things at stake, you know, with those kinds of things at stake, people will do just about anything to protect themselves. So, you know, how many people do we have? How many players do we have here? Seems like we've got a whole bunch of them. He didn't say anything, and they didn't say anything to him going out the door. Well, they sure didn't, did they? My dog Rex, without facts and evidence, there is no agree to disagree. Okay. Put a link to the other channel. Yes, I put it in the posts. I put it in the post tab. So if you'll go to the post tab, just click on the link and it'll take you there. Yeah, I was trying to read some lips. If I could get it blue up, I think that's what me and Gavin are getting ready to do on his show, y'all. I think he's got some blue up video. Okay, it's 20 after. I'm going to get off of here and jump on with him. All right, guys. We will see you over there. Bye. Peace out, Girl Scout. Like it, love it, or leave it. You know, if you don't like our channel, you don't have to stay, you know. But if you like us, we are so glad you're here. You keep coming back. All right. Bye, y'all.
You can't hide from hillbilly crime.
You can't hide from hillbilly crime.
You can't hide from hillbilly crime.
You may not know that there's a crew in town. The head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dog passed away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Neighbors hide behind their blinds. Whisper tales of troubled minds. Skeletons covering the mountainside. A treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't mask the cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise. All the